In this XD video, we're going to look at what type of assets or file types we can bring in and utilize inside of XD. So there's a couple of different ways we can bring in files. First, we're just going to do a import. So if I go to File and Import, or Shift Command I can bring in what you would consider your typical files for import. Bitmaps, SVG files, JPEG files, any of those work great inside of XD. So I'm going to bring in a JPEG and just import that in, and then I can simply scale it into place. And so with this, none of these objects, and this was created in Photoshop, none of these objects are editable. So that's true for any of those file types I've mentioned. But you can also file open Photoshop files. So I'm going to bring in that same file set as a Photoshop file, and when I open it, you can see that now all of these elements are editable. So let's say that I wanted to use this. I'm just going to copy and paste this, and we'll move this to the side. And so now all of these elements are editable. So if I decide I don't want the title there, or if I want the title to actually be a different color, I can make changes with that PSD document right inside of XD that I can't make with the JPEG file. The next way to bring in images is with your CC libraries. Get to my design inspiration. And so any of these graphics that I've created, I can just drag and drop and utilize inside of XD. So this file, for example, actually both of them, were Illustrator files that I just copied as graphics over to my CC library. So this, like the JPEGs, this is not editable. This is this full graphic that I brought from here. I can actually bring in Illustrator files if I want and convert those to XD. And so when I bring it in, you can already see that I have a few more selection options. I'm going to zoom in with a Command 3. So whereas here I've got the whole document, here I can dial in to just one part of the design. I can even double click in to specific locations of the design and change colors to whatever I want. Now, they aren't as clickable as they would be in Illustrator, but if you had a more simple design, you could certainly make color changes and that type of thing within XD. Finally, I want to show you a cool way to use a grid feature and the final way to import. So we're going to look at my profile page over here, and so I've got this grouped box that I actually want to create kind of as a menu board. I'm going to click Repeat Grid over in my panel, and notice I get these green handles. I can then pull them and create a grid of the same objects. It's copied all of the text, all of the shapes, everything right down. So now I'm going to open up my Finder window, and I have this series of profile images, and what I want to do is select inside that grid shape and get those images placed. So I'm just going to select all of these, and I'm going to drag and drop those, and you can see how it just automatically filled each of those cards in the grid. Now I can further come in and adjust these, make sure that I'm getting the part of the image that I want to be viewed, like that. So that is bringing in different types of image files and creating a repeat grid and dragging images in.